Okay. Good afternoon, Pat.
Good afternoon, Sam. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's been a couple weeks, so I want to apologize to everyone for getting this out late. Life and just one of those things where when I was free, you weren't, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, finally recording this October 6th. So it's been a couple weeks, but we kind of figured for this one, if hopefully we're not your only source of sumo, I assume not. So we're not probably not going to talk too much about the Basho. We'll go over our fantasy review, and then we're actually going to talk about the Nakamura Bay and how their unorthodox training techniques and how it's paying off.
Love it.
Yeah. So overall, real quick about the Basho, it was a good one. I remember in the preview episode, I was like, a bummer. I was a bit of a bummer about it.
You were. Oh yeah, you were a
But
big a Debbie Downer, one might say.
yeah, but it was good. Onosato winning it. Wakataka Kage doing really well as well. Just which fight was it like that we talked about? Like, oh, this is like the bout of the year.
I think the Wakataka Kage versus Onosato, I think it was, right?
Yes, Wakataka Kage versus Onosato, and you sent me a couple screenshots about like how he went from this to this in 2 seconds to win it. So I'll put this in here as well. Yeah, so that was fun, and I was happy because I had Wakataka Kage on my team.
Yeah, I mean he really stepped up. It was pretty impressive to watch. Like he could have won it.
Yeah, it was. There were a couple other folks who were in the running. Kirishima was one of them. Your
The
favorite?
surprising comeback of Kirishima. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have that one on the card. I'll be
No,
honest.
I don't think anyone did because he's just. It's just been a really tough year for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, bouncing back. Oh, another thing I was thinking earlier was the theme for this episode should be pour one out because the number of people who are retiring.
We had a lot of retirements this time
Yep.
around.
Taka Keisho's the big one,
That's the big one.
um, which I was a little surprised because I feel like anytime people talk about dropping out of the Ozeki ranks, like are they going to retire? But then how many guys like still keep going
I
after they
feel like
drop
most of them, most of the
out?
time, they just like drop down and then do the lower ranks for a couple like a year or so, and then eventually
Yeah,
retire.
yeah, but I guess it sounds like his neck pain is just too much, and he wants to get into coaching and running a stable. He got his elder stock, so it sounds like he has other plans going forward, which is good.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
big shot. He'll be just fine.
yeah, another retirement, Aoyama, the
Hmm.
Bulgarian, who was at the bottom of Jurio and finished with a pretty bad record again.
Mm.
So he would have dropped down and decided to call it. Again, another guy that when we went to Japan in like 2019, we watched the highlights every night. And that was one of the guys that stood out to us. So
Indeed, that was kind of
another one.
it
Who
made
reflected
sense.
us.
It was definitely time, but it's always still a little sad to see those happen. But it's part of the natural order of it.
Yeah, there was a couple others. I'm gonna check real quick.
I know there was the famous Gyoji that retired. That was like a big one.
Miyagiryu retired as well. So it wasn't quite as, at least to us, maybe. Like, we didn't talk about him nearly as much, but another one.
Still
Uh,
valid.
yeah, the head Gyoji, Kimura Shonosuke, retired as well. So the way the Gyoji works is that everyone moves up after retirement. So there will be a new head
Mm.
Gyoji um, going between the different sides. And like I said, we've put this off of like I want to do a Gyoji history episode, just
We
talking
need
about
to.
that. But really interesting, and so now it will shake up who the Gyojis are, since only certain Gyojis can referee certain matches because they have a similar ranking style of Jurio, Makuchi. No, they don't call their head Gyoji Yokozuna
Right.
thing, but only the head Gyoji can referee Yokozuna level matches.
Right.
So there'll be a new one for, or the new the new Gyoji going forward for that. So yeah, episode pour one out. So if you guys got them, which pouring out. Speaking of, we didn't start off with our drinks.
Oh, yes. That is true.
Do you have one?
Because no, I don't have one again.
Okay,
I
I do.
screwed
One
up.
second.
Damn it. I knew it. I knew I was going to screw it up.
So I went to my.
I need to get into a better habit.
That's fair. I went to my
I'll have
local
one for
H.
next time.
Went to my local H Mart a few days ago, and I just picked up some sake. Yomi,
Ooh,
the Afterlife craft sake. I think it's
the
a
afterlife. Very
Junmai
dramatic.
Ginmo. Yeah, or Junmai Ginjo. Sorry. And
I
it's
like seeing
vegan
sake
friendly.
in the little cans. You don't see that
No, it's
as
cool.
much.
Um, let's see. Refreshing and hedonistic with delicious notes of melon, cherry, red berries, light cream, and subtle mochi. Medium body with purity of flavor and plenty of attitude. Um, so that's what I'm all about. You know, when I think
Yeah,
about my life, it is refreshing and hedonistic.
yeah, that's you. Definitely, that's you in a can.
And this is all about world of darkness, afterlife, and rebirth. So really,
Yes.
quite the.
It's pretty dramatic.
Oh, this is American sake,
Oh, wait a minute.
produced and packed by Sake One, Forest Grove, Oregon. Mm,
Interesting. American sake on the rise.
we'll see.
Smells like sake.
It's good.
Mm.
It's not quite as strong as most other
Okay.
sakes I've had, and it's more flavorful. It's good. It tastes more like a regular, like proper wine
Oh, interesting.
than I would have expected. It's still sake, but
Right.
it almost tastes like a dry white. So
Hmm.
it's good. I like it. So if you see Yomi at your local Japanese Korean market, pick it up.
I will not. I will keep my eyes open.
All right, moving into it. So I'll pour one out for
Yeah.
all the retirements. So let's get
Pour one out
into
later.
yeah, exactly. Let's get into our fantasy. Do you have the scores you can pull up, Pat?
Well,
Or like the
let me check.
like I said beforehand, I'm pretty sure you won.
I mean,
I think I think I think it's close.
I have the final standings. If you have
Yep.
who chose what.
So I have Hoshoyu.
Okay. Hoshoyu was finished 8-7 in the
Okay, so
tournament,
that's
which is
1 point.
It might be his. I think it's his lowest finish in a really long time, actually.
It's his lowest since he first made Ozeki last
Yeah.
September. So
That's a shame.
yeah, Wakataka Kage.
Obviously, a great run at 12-3.
Ooh.
3. Yeah, very good for
Okay.
Wakage.
Yeah, so that's 3 points.
3 points.
Tamawashi, I know he was 7-8,
7-8, indeed.
and
Close.
Hiradumi, who I think also finished Kachikoshi.
Oh, Hirada Umi was right on the mark. Actually, finished 7-8.
0. Yep.
So
Okay.
that's a 0 right there.
You picked Onosato, the winner.
Well,
so that's 4 points. Takanosho.
Takanosho, who did not do very well.
Nope, so 0.
Yeah, that was a 4-11. Not. Yeah, he did not.
Kageyaki, who also did not do all that great.
No, he didn't.
And then Kotozakura, who also finished 8-7. Wow, so this was close thanks to Wakataka Kage.
Very
I finished
short.
with 4 points. You finished with 5.
Oh my god!
If Kotozakura had lost the last day or Tamawashi had won the last
I didn't
day,
realize it was that close.
I didn't either because we changed up the scoring system. Oh wait, Tamawashi had his 1,000th bout, so that gives me plus 1,000 points.
Okay.
And Wakataka Kage beat Onosato bout of the year. That's plus 2 points. So I win 1,006 to 5.
You can't win it every time. You gotta let me at least win one. All right.
Okay. Well, like I said, I was pretty positive that you won. So I already got your gift, and it's a bit of a double entendre because
oh boy.
Now, I mean, Onosato is Ozeki.
Yeah.
And he won.
Big shot.
So the new Ozeki winner, I got you a bottle of Ozeki sake.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's Ozeki sake. It's the finest sake in the U.S., it says.
Another American one?
Wow, yeah. I didn't think it
Interesting.
was, but
Where's that one from?
it says produced and bottled by Ozeki Sake USA, Hollister, California. Huh. I
Wow,
could have
look at
sworn.
that.
Yep, we mill the rice at our facility to ensure complete quality control. We combine it with the pure waters of the Sierra Nevada.
Hmm.
Our certified Toji Sake brewmaster oversees the process from start to finish. Okay.
It's funny because the bottle looks very Japanese.
Yeah.
Like a lot
Um,
of American bottles just have like totally different designs, but that one has a more traditional design on it.
so, yeah, I wonder if the founders are Japanese or something.
Perhaps, or they just
Yeah,
got some Japanese people to make it more official. Either way.
exactly. Got the token Japanese on there. Yeah, so next time I see you, that's your gift.
Oh man, I'll drink the whole thing in one go.
Just one chug. Okay. Um, so you've lost next, or I've lost. You have
Okay, so you're just so
lost.
used to saying that is the
I know.
thing.
Sorry. No.
It's a force of habit.
Alrighty. So next thing to talk about is some unorthodox training techniques from the
Yes.
Nakamura stable. So there was an article in Japanese NHK and then also Sumo Primetime. So if you guys watch that, uh, they went to it as well. And Nakamura Oyakata, the former Sekiwaki Kafu, is now the boss, the coach at Nakamura stable. So what do they do that's different,
Right.
Pat?
Well, it's funny. They do actually. It's funny because if you don't follow sumo and you read the article, you would kind of be like maybe confused because it's
Mhm.
like you see this article and like a big part of it is like they have like traditional, excuse me, non-traditional, like traditional American, I guess, or traditional to everywhere else in the world, like weight training, right?
Mhm.
So that was like the thing that caught me off guard because it was like it was kind of showing them like, oh, we have a gym, and it's just like it looks like any other gym you would see in any other part of the world with like a weight, a bench press and a leg press and all the things, and they're kind of touting this as like pretty crazy, right? And then it's just kind of funny to see because it's like, whoa, like it shows you how traditional the world still is. And at one point in the article, it says he invested more than 1 million yen, which is like I don't know, equivalent of like $6,000-7,000. So it's not like we're talking a ton of money here.
Mhm.
It's just like funny that they're like hyping this up as this like big thing, and
Yeah,
I just find that fascinating.
it is, and how he's changing other things, like the daily grind, I guess you could say, the daily
Right.
training of you know all the other stables, and if everyone has gone and visited a stable, which you have, right? You went years ago with your wife, I think.
No, we didn't go to a stable,
Oh, you just went to
unfortunately,
the
but
okay.
yeah,
But
but
either way, you like get there at 5 a.m. and it's you sit on the side for hours while they train, and the sumo wrestlers and all the other stables wake up. It's like almost military. They wake up, they don't eat anything, and they go straight to training on an empty stomach. And it goes, it's the old style, old thinking of training on an empty stomach is better because you're already like lower energy at exhaustion, um, which is not true scientifically. It's very much like a good old tough guy attitude. So Nakamura stable, they eat breakfast, and Oyakata Nakamura like cooks the breakfast too. So again, like very unorthodox that they don't have like the helpers or like the young guys cooking. He's in there cooking their breakfast every morning. He cooks. They wait around for a couple hours, let the food digest, and then they go into training. And it's, I mean, still intense because it's sumo training.
of course, of course.
It's a few hours long, but they don't train the tachi. I don't know if you read that. So
Yeah.
the coming together, the start of where they often bash their heads together. They start from already gripping one another, and the thought process behind that is, very very rarely does the tachiai itself actually like win. It's always the immediate move after, the immediate
Right.
like grapple after, um, which is true. So he's more focusing on, okay, if we're going to go intense on one thing, let's go intense on where. Don't know if
Oh,
that's loud and you can hear
it
that.
actually is quite loud.
Sorry.
That's good.
Let's go on
There you
intense
go.
training where like the fight is actually won and lost. So they start at different holds and different positions for it. Um, and it's also interesting because when you look at, for example, pro football now, they don't tackle in practice
Mm,
because they're already at that point. They've been playing for so long. They know how to tackle. They're there to work on the plays. They're to work on a lot of the smaller team building uh, aspects of the game. So that's more what he is looking to do is envision that, or not envision that, like improve that.
yeah.
Then they take a lunch break, and then they do a second training in the afternoon, and that is more what you mentioned, the weight training. Uh, so something a lot most other all other sports it seems like are have realized as well is that weight training, like a proper weight training regimen, will benefit your sport. Um,
Of
so
course.
yeah, not that others don't, because I have seen other videos where they do have gyms, like smaller gyms, or you see them like doing curls on the side, but it almost seems just like doing it to do it, whereas they're putting a lot more effort into building muscle mass. Um, and so it seemed to be doing well. He has a very forward thinking, progressive mindset, and it was a lot of things. It was funny. He was like, "Oh, when I think about," he said something like, "When I think about my time as a wrestler, there are all these things that I hated and I didn't see any benefit from, so I just removed all of those." And I think one of the wrestlers, Tomokaze, they interviewed, and he was talking about how strange it is to not do those things anymore. Um,
Right.
so definitely interesting to see.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean it's
sorry,
super
go ahead.
weird.
Mhm.
No, it's just it's like I'll be curious to see like how it plays out because as we all know, it's such a traditional space,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that there are stables who are like maybe not upset, but probably maybe a little upset that like this stable is getting attention for being different when you're not really being different is not normally celebrated in well the culture in general, but especially in sumo. Um,
Well, they had 8 wrestlers compete at this Basho,
right.
and 7 of them. So from all 4 wrestlers in Sandanme, the one in Makushita, and both of their wrestlers in Juryu, all finished Kachikoshi. So they
Can't really argue there.
all finished with winning records. The one who didn't was a Joni Don wrestler, Kato. Um, so just 7 for 8 finishing with a winning record is quite good.
That's
I think
really good.
he was injured. It looks like so. A little alibi there, basically. But
That's crazy.
yeah, just if you guys have time, read the article, watch the video. Sumo Prime Time. Those are always fun videos. Um, yeah, so I thought that was cool. Is when we started this podcast, I remember we wanted to talk about
Yeah.
things beyond just the results and the specific bosses themselves. So I was really happy when I saw this, and I was like, I sent it to you, and I was like, hey, let's talk about this.
Well, it's funny because we did say that at the very beginning, but the thing is, there just isn't that many opportunities to talk about it because everything stays the same so often.
Yeah,
So it is kind of exciting when you see anyone that's like actually doing something progressive and a little bold because, like, even if it seems so small to maybe, like I said, outsiders, like it actually can potentially have like a really big impact on the future. And it's just for the best. Ultimately,
yeah,
these
for
are just
sure.
good. It's just good
Yeah,
things that he's doing.
yeah, like
So
they've got that pure oxygen tank that helps
yeah,
recovery, and weight training is just better in general for your limbs and joints and ligaments, tendons, like everything. So it's just interesting to see. I'm definitely going to pay more attention to how the Nakamura boys do going forward.
agreed.
Alrighty. Was there anything else you want to talk about?
I think I'm good. I mean, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to always as November. We'll do another one just before the November Basho, where maybe we'll go a little bit more in depth into breaking down because I feel like there's just like a lot changing right now. It's just
Mhm.
like I feel like it's just like there's people on the rise, people on the decline. Like there's been some gaps. Like I feel like there's a lot to talk about that we can kind
Yeah,
of do a deep dive into some of the specific people
I
in the
agree.
next one.
I agree. All right, man. Well, everyone, thank you. Sorry for taking so long to get this one out, but
You
thank,
monster.
yeah, blame me. But yeah, thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
See you next time.